Now we are moving ahead with our fourth insightful technical panel. It's about from inputs to intelligence, redefining agriculture through biology. Nowadays, we are understanding how agriculture is important. Being into a nation whose more than 50% of population is engaged into agricultural activities and our roots are connected to the village. We can understand that how agriculture is very important for us. And into this panel discussion, we will talk about regulatory evolution in India and harmonization with global standards, scaling adoption, affordability, farmer education and distribution challenges. And now for this panel discussion, our moderator will be Mr. Vipin, Saini, CEO of BASAI. Can we have a big round of applause, everyone? Thank you very much. And for this panel discussion, our panelist will be Dr. Bakul Joshi, President and COO, T-Stains and Company Limited, Dr. A. John Peter, CMD, Varsha Bioscience and Technology Private Limited, and President, BIPA. Dr. Prafull, Gadge, CEO, Principal Scientist, Biome Technologies Private Limited. Mr. Sushil Kumarji, Commercial Leader, Agriculture and Process Industries, Momentive Performance Material Private Limited. Mr. Ravish Singh, Head Marketing, Crop Nutrition, Biological, SML Limited. Ms. Shantwana Dikshit, Specialist Policy Advocacy Corporate Affairs, UPL Limited. Now I request Mr. Vipin Saini to please kindly go ahead with the further proceedings of the day. Thank you very much.
So I have one request to make before. So we have come almost 2,000 kilometers away from the place to participate in this 45 minutes panel discussion. So I have request to everybody not to touch mobile phone for next 45 minutes. Would be highly thankful to you. So please pay attention to the panel discussion. That's my humble request only.
Thank you, Joshi ji. Thanks a lot. A warm welcome and a warm, lovely evening to all of you. Thank you for being present in this session, and I hope we will do justice for the session coming across. The session basically is revolving around biologicals use and its revolution in crop care protection. And as in the earlier session, you have seen that probably that point was touched upon, and it was also indicated that there are two kinds of legislations coming across in this part. And we will be primarily focusing on the Insecticides Act, and probably during the last course, we will touch upon the Pesticide Management Bill, which is quite due now. So thank you very much, my fellow panelists, all of you. Let me first kind of introduce ourselves. We have got Sushil Bahuguna, who has got more than 26 years of experience in working in the agriculture industry in India, not only in India, but in SAARC and C and Middle East and Africa. I'm sure he is a commercial leader at Momentive, and I'm sure, sir, your insights will be quite useful in this whole regard. He was also awarded and deeply impressed. He's also an inventor of a powder-based soil adjuvant branded as Silvet Power. So that's the congratulations to that. And I believe it's very apt to be mentioning it that since we are celebrating the World Soil Day today, and it is for better soil for the soil management and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much. On my immediate right, I have got Dr. Prafull Gadge, who is the founder and CEO of Biome Technologies Private Limited. Interestingly, he has a PhD in biochemistry with a specialization in plant pest proteomics, and that will be one subject that I'll be wanting to ask you about, that what exactly do you refer to in that particular part. He is also the inventor and an awardee of a soil microbial health detection kit, which had been validated and launched, if I'm not mistaken, by the ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. I have also Ravish Singh from SML Industries. He has got career in marketing of crop nutrition and biologicals at SML. He's an ex-Biostat FMC person, and I believe your insights on both the nutrition and the biologicals parts will be helping us coming across on that part. I do have a special friend, Bakul Chandra Joshi, over here. Most of you must have already heard him at a number of things, and what caught my attention on your brief was that you are an MSc and PhD in agriculture entomology, and that too in biocontrol. So I'd love to hear about your journey coming from the chemical industry and hopping into the biologicals, and because the time you started, probably it was not that quite known, as we may all recall. On my far left, I have Shantavana. Shantavana. Okay, Shantavana. Sorry for my pronunciation, but a warm welcome to you. She represents UPL, and she, in fact, is probably the most diverse panelist we have over here, because she is an M.Tech in urban planning, and she is a B.Tech in civil engineering, and here she is in a biological session. So lovely to have your insights on that part, right? Thank you very much. And last but not least, I've got Dr. John Peter, who also is the CMD of Varsha Biocontrols, and is also the current reigning president of BIPA. So warm welcome to you, sir. Warm welcome. So as I said, I have got a couple of questions. I was given a couple of questions, but as per my nature, I never go when I'm told what to do. So I'll just skip those things across. So Bakul, my first question will be to you. Having said and having learned that you did your MSc in agriculture, and these are very brief first round, just to energize the audience at whom they want to listen about. Yeah, it's a warm-up session. Yeah. So after having done your academics in biocontrol and then working for 26 years in DuPont and then FMC, and now presently switching over to T-Stains, one of the oldest biological companies that we know in the country. How did this journey happen, and what did you feel at that point of time? I mean, on switching over from the biological academics into the real professional on chemical agri inputs.
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about my personal story, but despite doing, MSc and PhD in biologicals, I went to the chemical pesticide industry because I was coming from a small farmer's family, and job was my need, and that is the reason, I had to make some compromise. And when I came to the chemical pesticide industry, whether many of the people might be knowing here, the chemical pesticide industry was very badly affected by one biological. Do you know this? When we were at the peak, the entire pesticide industry was standing on one insect, Heliothis. You remember all of it?
Yeah.
Right? Almost 70% of the pesticides were sold on one insect. And we were on the top of the world with one of the insecticides we had launched for the Heliothis control. And within 4 years, we became king in the industry. Within 4 years, we just fell down because of one biological. And that biological came from in the form of Bt cotton. And that Bacillus thuringiensis delta endotoxin gene was derived from bacteria. And that really transgenic crop was launched, and the entire pesticide industry was affected. So there were some cynicism on what is the impact of biologicals. There is a classic example that pesticide industry can be impacted by biologicals. They are very, very effective. So that is my first experience. And since I had done my studies in biologicals, I was always interested in biologicals in DuPont also. We used to talk about integrated pest management. So the moment I finished my journey, I was searching for a good company which is into biologicals, and somehow T-Stains was one of the very, very leading companies in biological I entered into. And I'll take 30 more seconds. To understand what is the impact of biologicals, I traveled 2,000 kilometers. I met hundreds of farmers, and I can give the name of a farmer. He came to one of my farmers' meetings. He said, I never go to pesticide company's farmer meeting. I have come to your farmer meeting. He has exported 1 container load of fruits and vegetables organically grown. He said, I have come here only with one expectation. You give bioinsecticides, you give biofungicides, you give biostimulants, you give biofertilizers. We need bioherbicides, and our entire problem is solved. So my dear friend, with biologicals, some silent revolution is happening. Having said that, do I say only biological is the solution? Answer is no. We need to integrate biologicals into overall crop management system, and that will really change the way, because pesticide industry has been, because I come from there, and this last one, pesticide industry is facing 3 R's. One is the residue problem, non-tariff barriers from Europe. So many of our export consignments are getting rejected because of the pesticide residues. First R. Second is resistance. Bringing one chemical pesticide takes 10 years and 2,500 crore rupees have to be spent to bring one molecule, and product life cycle is very shorter. If at all the chemical pesticide industry has to increase the product life cycle, they have to integrate biological. And third, the biggest issue is resurgence of secondary pests. That is also we as the chemical pesticide industry has been facing. If at all we want to reduce the resurgence, possibly biologicals have to be integrated. We never say that only biologicals are the solution, but we cannot neglect biological in overall crop health management system. That is my submission to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bakul. Thanks a lot. And yeah, you very rightly said it was not until the mid 1980s that the integrated pest management movement started in India, and wherein biologicals were first introduced. In fact, BTI and BTS were the first ones that were recommended for use by the then Department of Agriculture. Prafull, the next one is for you. Just a quick thing. You're a PhD in biochemistry, specializing in plant pest proteomics. I just wanted to understand what, for the benefit of the audience also, what do you actually mean plant pest proteomics, and how is it impacted either in crop production as fertilizer or in crop protection as a pesticide?
Yep, the proteomics means the study of proteins, and we know genes are responsible for the protein. There are multiple genes code one protein, or several genes code or one gene code multiple proteins. These kind of things are there, and these proteins are the basis of interaction. All the metabolic interactions, immunity, development, nutrition, uptake, digestion, everything is with the help of proteins, and those are functional proteins called as enzymes. So they are much needed for nutrition management, for pest management, for resilience against the climate change. And we are working in this area of agriculture biotechnology as a CRO. We are combining microbiome with an metabolome, that too particularly proteins. So these are the proteins. Those are like, for example, we know trichoderma. How the trichoderma is affecting other fungi, infecting other fungi, is with the help of enzyme chitinates. Similarly, the metarhizium penetrate the insect with the help of enzymes. At the same time, microbes, they dissolve or chelate the nutrient and make them available to the plant with the help of enzymes. So this is an importance of enzymes, and the combination of enzymes, combination of peptides will be the next generation biologicals or the biochemicals, or the combination of both that we can witness in the nutrition, fertilizers, or as well as in pest and pathogen management segment.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Prafull. Over to you, Sushil. I see that you're inventor of a powder-based soil adjuvant, right? So, how does that affect the plant productivity, or or whether it also has some seed treatment usage, or how you can use it in crop protection, if at all it can be used?
Yeah, so I mean, first, thank you for inviting me to this August group. Actually, I would take one step ahead to this question.
Sure.
Why there was a need of soil surfactant? I mean, why an adjuvant was needed in the soil?
Okay.
That is a major question which
Fair
we
enough.
answered through this product. So we saw that India is having multiple type of soil types. Like in the Ganges plain, it is alluvial soil. In some regions, it is the red soil. In other, it is the black cotton soil. And there are various other metamorphic, sedimentary, and I mean we studied all of them. And the major issue which we found when we compared all of them was the wettability. Wetting was a challenge when you are actually uh, sowing the seeds. A similar seed, if you sow in different soil types, the reactions are different. The germination percent are different. So the challenge, what was hindering it is in certain soils it was wetting, in others it was not wetting. So germination percentage was affected. Then the nutrients or soil compactability is slowly affecting our use efficiency, because fertilizers are making the soil compact. The 12 centimeter of our earth is getting compacted by the overuse of fertilizers. There is a change in the structure of the soil. So how to wet that compact surface and create porosity in those portions? You needed a surfactant, and we tried to map a lot of surfactants, and then we came up with a combination of surfactants which we dried it, and just for ease of application we made it a soil wetting adjuvant.
Yeah,
So
fair
it
enough.
can go very well with, or it's very compatible. I mean, with
Yeah.
fungi, with bacteria, we did all the tests to just see whether we can use it with biologicals or non-biologicals. Can we use it with them? Are they compatible? How the CFU counts are increasing or decreasing if we use this powder
fair
along
enough.
with them. So that gave us that confidence.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So that means it is a part of crop protection in terms of soil drenching and
Soil
treatment,
drenching, it will be
seed
amazing.
treatment.
It will
Yeah,
be amazing.
fair
crop.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Sushil. Over to Dr. Peter. You started a company into microbials. Just a quick thing, if just very briefly, what brought you into the microbial sector? While everybody was going into the chemical one, you know?
Thank you very much, Dr. Vipin. Basically, I was a scientist earlier, and I did my entomology in, and subsequently I worked as a scientist at ICRISAT, NARDI,
Oh,
and then those days, Nagarjuna Fertilizers wanted to launch a product on microbials, especially virus. So I was the one behind developing those two formulations. So that has given some kind of confidence to me that I can sustain. So
okay, that's very candid of you.
So then thereafter in 2003 I started purely as a biological company, started with a biofertilizer. We were the one who was started with the 4 biofertilizers prior to the regulatory part, and subsequently we entered into biopesticides, and now we are probably one of the largest B2B suppliers and also largest license holders on biopesticides. So this is the journey,
Yeah.
but it is quite difficult to become a pure biological industry in this
Yeah,
country.
exactly.
Now it is all right. Now things are
Yeah,
changing.
yeah. Okay. Thank you, Doc. Thanks a lot. Ravish, you have got an experience in marketing, crop nutrition, and biologicals. So just quickly, how do you see the correlation coming across?
Yeah. So first and foremost, thanks for having me on this panel. I have got some, very known guests, kind of Dr. Joshi and all that, who have worked with me in last few of the assignments. Just to answer your question, I would say that I started my career from an IT industry. Wipro was my first organization. Uh, and then I joined a pharmaceutical company. And then this happened by accident, actually. I was approached by one of the CEOs of my last organization. So why it interests me a lot, this particular category, is because there is huge opportunity. I mean, crop protection, we have insecticide, fungicide, herbicides, although I have worked a lot on insecticides also. But I would say the kind of opportunities, the kind of potential we have in terms of actually exploring the portfolio itself from marketing point of view, because the kind of concepts which you sell in market have got larger kind of, you can say, variety or broader approach compared to crop protection. There is a particular pest or disease and you have to target that. Your story has to be very bang on. I mean, how you're controlling, what is the kind of duration of control, and what are the benefits and all of that's it. Where here in nutrition or biological, you have got, I would say, a broader value prop. It is not just yield or qualitative benefits, it is beyond that. It is also that building that immunity against some of the pests or disease which is going to come into during the later crop stages, or it is about increasing the nutrients. Somebody was talking about how we can improve the biofortification part of the crop, and it is also about there are certain technologies like we are working at SML, that how we can improve in terms of our GHG responsibility. I mean, how we can reduce the GHG emissions. We all are aware of, I'll not take much of the time, just to touch upon one thing, that fertilizer stewardship is very important right now. Agriculture cannot survive without fertilizer or crop protection. But with the fertilizer, with the crop protection inputs, can we have a balanced solution approach, wherein we'll try to reduce the kind of nitrous oxide emission, which is happening right now, I would say in excess of maybe there are companies who are trying to reduce it, but because of excess use of fertilizers, probably it is basically nitrogen-based fertilizers who are adding to the problem of nitrous oxide emission. But there are solutions which are available which can reduce. I mean, we have taken a target that we should reduce the GHG emission in terms of nitrous oxide by 60 to 84% in the next few years. Second is water contamination. That is also a kind of a major problem. So these are certain challenges. We had a kind of a survey which is being done by Government of India, like more than 240 plus districts are having 50 mg per liter, which is very high. I mean, the threshold is around 3 to 5 mg per liter. But that is the kind of contamination we have had in groundwater that is actually affecting the lives across India.
Yeah,
so
thanks,
probably
Ravish.
these solutions help to address those challenges. Thanks.
Thanks, Ravish. Chandra, I believe you should be relieved of the fact that you're not the only one out of the box, because we've got an IT guy and a pharma guy also. So earlier in the session, the previous session, it was mentioned that now every fertilizer company is a agrochemical company and every agro company is into that thing. So looking into your public policies which you deal at UPL, how do you think of integrating those policies? Does ever the idea crop across that there needs to be some kind of integration now, since there's no specific company who is interested or only wanting to listen or talk about fertilizers, one company only on pesticides, another one only on biopesticides, and now biostimulants also in this regard. Just a candid, brief thing. If you could have the mic, please. Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening all, and very thank you for inviting me here in this panel. I am sitting with all the learned and veterans in the industry. I'll take an opportunity to create a safeguard for myself. I am somebody who was in consulting industry. As sir already said, my background is very different as compared to the panelists I'm sharing this panel. So I'll start with giving some of the data points which I feel are important before answering to your questions, sir. What policy integration is required? So if we talk about the companies, agrochemical companies coming up, taking up fertilizer, and fertilizer taking up agrochemical, I think they all are businessmen. So first of all, we have to understand that. So there is no point of talking about why one is doing this and the other one is doing that. And secondly, sir, if we look at the policy regime globally and the drivers of this biologicals and all, basically it's coming from the Western countries, and I feel somewhere they are the drivers. But I recently read a report of McKinsey which says that the farmers in these countries are little less positive about the biologicals as compared to the farmers in India and Latin America. Okay, so policy integration is definitely required, but I feel before that it is very important to understand what the farmer exactly need, because the same survey also says that farmers, as Ravish also mentioned, farmers are very, very specific to understand what is your precise line item. They are very clear on understanding what is the impact of your product on their specific problems. So if you are able to give that, and you're able to convince them, then they are takers of your technology and product. So I think once you are able to address that, policy integration can happen, sir, at any point of time. It's not a big thing, and that's all on your question too. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Just one thing, you said that the integration is there, it's a business decision. So just to quote something, the biostimulant market is about 3.18 billion currently, and is supposed to reach about 8.6 billion by 2030. Whereas your biopesticides currently run at 9.91 billion and are estimated to be reaching 29.24 billion by 2032. Fertilizers, on the other hand, are currently at 2.7 billion, and biofertilizers I'm talking about, sorry. And by 2034, it's 5.6 billion. Now, PGRs, which we will also include in biologicals, as we can say, currently is 2.85 billion and looking to rise by 2030 at 4.29 billion. Not much of a growth, but steady. Pheromones are the least. We have got currently at 647 million, and by 32, about 1.4 billion is the thing. So if I take an average of all this, at the current scenario, the biologicals will be at all of them at an average will come out around about 3.85 billion and have a prospect by 2030-35 at 9.83 billion and rising at an average CAGR of 10.97. Not bad. So obviously it's a business decision. It may also be a fear factor for many of the agrochemicals, I'll say, with the environmental thing coming across and the climate change challenges coming across. Europe was at one point of time wanting to ban all chemical pesticides, which fortunately did not happen. In fact, I personally believe that we cannot call ourselves totally biological or totally that thing. We need to merge all of them together, as Dr. Joshi initially said, that the IPM is the key to it. We can give it different names, integrated crop management or integrated nutrient management, than now what we're talking about, that while using fertilizers and crop protection products, things can happen across. So continuing with you only, what is the current scenario in the globe for biological controls vis-a-vis what you can find in India? Can you just highlight us in that for a few minutes?
Surely. So to start with, I'll just put some figures again, because I'm sorry, I was a consultant earlier. I had a very bad habit of putting data first. So
not an issue. We're all into the statistics.
So the conventional fertilizer market is around $200 billion, and the conventional agrochemical, or you can say crop protection market, is around $80 billion. Now, if we look at the biocontrol market, it is in total it is $14 billion. Out of this $14 billion, the biofertilizer is $2 billion, to be specific. So the percentage share, if I talk in terms of percentage, biologicals is around 5% of the overall conventional market of biofertilizer plus agrochemicals. So now looking at the numbers, some may think that okay, it's a very slow growth or the growth is not that happening. But I think as a person who's into statistics and numbers, I feel you have created a space of 5% for yourself. That too in the erratic weather conditions, that too in the geopolitical conditions. So I think that's a good number to say. The growth is definitely slow, but yes, there is a huge opportunity. And so coming to your question on whether, to your statement also that the biologicals may affect the business of conventional market.
No, I didn't say that.
No,
I
you
said we have to
mentioned
go hand in hand.
hand.
I'm not in favor of only
Okay,
biologicals
so let
coming
me
across.
recorrect
Yeah.
myself. I think there are many who feel like that it may happen like that, but that's not also the
No,
case.
that's not.
I have read a lot of reports. The maximum cannibalization loss if any company could face is hardly 1 or 2% because of this biologicals entering the market. So I think biological itself is creating its own stream of business. So there is no as such thing to worry about it.
Sure. Thank you. I did a little study. Just a minute.
I have something to add.
Yeah.
Actually, why biological came into the whole gamut? Is it the business decision or is it the need of the
It is
hour?
made.
So what has happened is over the time the stress level has increased. I mean, we are continuously putting a lot of chemicals into the soil, on the crop and everywhere, and it has created that stress. So how to overcome that stress and reduce the chemical, what I would say, backlash? I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
thanks.
it's just like that.
Yeah.
That now biological is a need that we need to remove some part of the chemical, give biological its due space so that we back to the ages.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to. There is a traditional thought process,
Yeah.
and which has sustained us for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, again we are revisiting
Yeah.
those.
No. Thank you, Sushil.
Yeah.
Thanks. I can hear we can understand your emotions on that part. But unfortunately, we can't deal only on emotions over here. So I did a small study. Don't ask me from where I got that, how I came to the conclusion. But I found out that in India, the biological market is 1/10 of the global market, conventional in terms of ratio. And within India, it is 1/3 of that thing. So that was a little study that I did across. Earlier, it was in the previous session also mentioned that we are, we are feeding ourselves wherein the nutrient content is not, and that's where Sushil, your emotions come across. But we need to understand that now we are at a level. Now we tend not to talk much about food security, but now the whole focus of the government is towards nutrient security. I don't know how many of you are aware of, but in the last 2 parliament sessions, there have been questions about food insecurity also being raised. So that's a matter of concern. From where those questions come across and whatever the answers have come across from the government is a different issue. But if a question has popped up that requires a deeper thing going on. So, Dr. Joshi, coming back to you, looking into the advances in regulatory frameworks, especially in the scenario of biologicals, and now since you are with these things and working on the same, what do you feel that needs to be still done in India so that we are at par with international standards, we are in a kind of a harmonizational situation coming across?
Yeah. So let me give one example, one data point. Again, since you are coming from consultancy, if you look at the number of products which are registered in the US, in Brazil, in Japan, in China, the number of products which are registered in those countries are more than 500. As against that, in India, number of products CIBS registered are around 230 to 40, around 250. That means our regulatory systems is little too stringent and too rigid. The reason, because of that, many new innovations which have to come, they are not coming. Let me give one example. In grape, there is a powder mildew is an issue. I'll just take this example, like where we face a problem. powdery mildew is a problem. In the later part of the grape, if at all they go for chemical fungicide, there will be residue problem, so they cannot export because export consignment will get rejected. We had one biofungicide that is recommended by NRCG. Trials are conducted. Farmers are happy. 6 universities have recommended. We have powder formulation also registered by CIB. We wanted to give liquid formulation without registration. India's biggest FPO gave 3,000 liters order to us, but we had to wait for 2 years to get registration. Yeah. Despite we had a powder formulation already registered. So sometimes, no, registration should take 2 years. Possibly there they can relax. We have order in hand, but we cannot supply because we don't have registration. Are you getting my point? So despite many positives, but we could still not supply. Fortunately, now we have got the registration. Now when we have got registration, we don't have a selling permission. We are told selling permission will take 40 to 50 days time. So entire grape season is gone. Are you getting my point? So my point is our regulatory environment is possibly not industry friendly. I mean, if you look at, say, one of the biostimulants, we have registration in Europe for that biostimulant. Here we don't have registration. We have submitted all the data, all the queries are answered, but we have not got registration. So there are some areas, of course, our government is doing a lot of positive things, but some of these areas, if government can really become little, it can help industry for genuine cases, possibly that will help. So if at all we want to harmonize with the global standards, I think we have to make sure that genuine innovation should flourish. That's my point.
Yeah, Doc, I agree to a certain extent. But this registration was a provisional registration because under the Insecticides Act, there is a provisional registration only for biologicals with commercialization up till the 4 years of time. So, are you talking about a provisional one that took you 2 years or what?
That's why the final because we already had got one registration for powder formulation. We wanted to get the liquid registration
for provisional registration. So that's something new to me. It shouldn't take that much time. And I totally do agree that earlier there was in 2010 there was a secretarial there was a ministerial meeting under the Secretary of Agriculture wherein they said that if ICR institutions have conducted trials, then they should be given label claims or should be utilized on that thing. Yeah, so that's there. I totally agree with your points. And then being a state subject, sales permissions do come across. So over to you, Ravish. What challenges do you face in both your communication and marketing skills from actually wanting to have the farmer shift from a chemical product and restrict yourself to crop protection only? This is my request to all speakers. To biologicals in this regard.
So
what are the key challenges? What are the key challenges in communication? I mean, shifting from a conventional agriculture to biological, how hard it is? If you could just share briefly.
Yeah. So I think somebody from the on the audience side only highlighted that biologicals cannot replace crop protection inputs, but they can basically enhance the efficacy or efficiency of the crop protection inputs. So in terms of marketing, I would say communication point of view, the larger challenge is that particular zincs we have on biologicals, that in the past the biologicals were being sold like it is a kind of a tagging or additive, or it is not the need of the crop or the soil. It was not promoted that way either at the retailer level, distributor level, or even by companies also. It was the another thing. It was the last portfolio which was focused upon. So from communication point of view, whether it is thrips or maybe mites or anything like that, if you have a solution. So whether it is Bacillus subtilis or it is a good product, biofungicide for powdery mildew, downy mildew and all that. But that mindset of the customer is always on a particular crop protection input. He is not that much aware about what could be the benefit of using a microbial based input for, like he mentioned, that lower residues and all that. So that awareness is at a very low level right now, even now also. We are in 2025, but still the awareness at farmer level, retailer level, distributor level for microbial based inputs is very low. So we as a marketeer, what we try is basically to take help of some of the subject experts who are very close to the farmers, whether it is, KVKs or maybe some of the scientists, or like, there are consultants in grapes, especially in mango also, POM also. So we take their help, we conduct some trials, and then like NRCG and all that. So even NRCP for citrus and all that. So we do some studies with them, and then so that they recommend our products or some of the good products which are from microbials or biofertilizers and all those kind of things, whether they can help them increase the efficiency, or they can use as a kind of a I would say not just as a substitute, but also as another solution along with the crop protection.
Yeah, thanks, Ravish. But frankly speaking, I fail to understand that you have got certain areas where chemical pesticides, crop protection products are not actively used, and they all rely upon biologicals and other traditional methodologies to do the crop protection. But another thing is that probably what I believe you missed out maybe in your explanation was that IPM, the very basic of ETL, has been forgotten over time. Nobody in any conference anywhere talks about an ETL, and the basic principle of the ETL is to support the IPM system, wherein if the ETL is reached and then you start doing your measures with biologicals and all, and only after it can be initially controlled at a very, very early stage to see the impact, and yet if it is an epidemic kind of situation, then obviously chemicals rope in. So probably that one is more like you've got the spice board, you've got the tea board, the coffee board. These are all major export-oriented commodities which do not require to have any kind of pesticide residue in them. So probably those are the markets, that kind of communication initially at the first stage before you go in for conventional crops. Obviously, there are large volume of crops grown which have got an impact, and the farmer doesn't want to take that risk, and hence the belief in the product becomes slightly there, because they only approach you towards the end of it and not towards the beginning of the problem. So yeah, that's there. So Prafull, over to you, man. How do you find that these next generation and new generation biologicals or microbial solutions can contribute towards carbon neutrality and soil restoration? Can you give a thought on it?
Yes, certainly at a great extent. For example, we have recently validating one of our fungal products, which is sequestering atmospheric carbon dioxide and fixing it into the soil and increasing soil organic carbon. So this is one thing. So besides mycorrhiza, there are several carbon sequestering fungal species are available. So we are also improving its efficiency. Again, I'll be going to the proteomics. That is an enzyme, supporting enzymes according to the thing. So they are helping it to enhance its productivity. So likewise, these kind of products are coming into the market in coming future. Besides that, we know mycorrhizae and all other fungal products what we use, and phosphate solubilizing fungi and all that. They are also sequestering the carbon dioxide to some extent, enhancing soil organic carbon. Moreover, there are plant growth promoting microbials. Those are also helping plants to generate more carbon, and that is getting delivered to the roots and then passing over to the soil and other systems. So this way, these next gen microbial solutions, those will be contributing to the carbon neutrality. Besides, the way we have told, somebody in the audience said that the biologicals cannot replace crop protection chemicals, but I'm in complete disagreement. In Maharashtra, we are working with the farmers, for grapes, for pomegranates, for ginger, for tomato, 100% residue-free as per the European standards, and no single chemical fungicide used in the crop. So this is the thing where neutrality again comes into the picture, reduces several burdens, and helps the sustainability. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Prafull. Quite insightful. Sushil, we over to you. What kind of innovations or partnerships are required to strengthen the last mile delivery for biological products to the farming community?
Yeah, so that is a major issue which I see, that biologicals, I mean, either they are some microbes, bacteria, fungi and all, but how to deliver it? Delivery is the place where actually Momentive works very diligently. These adjuvants which gives the last mile, because when farmer is spraying those actives needs to spread on the leaf surfaces where they need to act. If normal water as a medium of spray is not able to completely do that, and even there are challenges of wash off, because if there is a rainfall condition, like you said, tea, coffee, those morning you are spraying and after say 1 hour there will be rainfall. So those challenges they all need a kind of adjuvant additives which will help these actives, these microbes and all, to spread, get absorbed and be effective. So enhancing the performance of these are the need to give biological industry also that fillip, because normally when you compare them with the normal pesticides, everyone wants to see knockdown. So if you are fighting with knockdown, you will be hands down, you cannot do that. So these kind of adjuvants, they really deliver the last mile effectivity if you use it as a tank mix at the end of the spray or when you are making the formulations. So those technologies are coming up, and Momentive is one of the leaders in those technologies.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sushil. Over to you, Dr. Peter. As an industry association and dealing into policies of this regard, what kind of regulatory challenges you see or priorities you see to minimize the last minute bottlenecks, as Dr. Joshi has referred to? That, I mean, what does the industry, as an industry leader, how do you feel those things should be tackled across, and what should we ask for the government to assist us in doing that?
Thank you. Before that, I just take some 1 minute extra time to go into my subject.
Granted.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Prafull, for the wonderful explanation how Maharashtra is doing well on biologicals. And if in this room 95% of the people are with hypertension, and that is not normal, that is common. That is common. 5% of the people are normal. So earlier we were 95% normal and 5% common. Now it is 95% common and 5% normal. So situation may definitely change. 70 years before, biological was the engine of a railway system. Now it has become the unreserved compartment. One day definitely it will become again an engine. And definitely the biological, once it becomes the engine, and the chemical pesticides and the fertilizers, all those things can complement. So this is how the IPM and other things are being designed. And I don't know whether I will be here to witness all these changes. Definitely in 2050, certainly there will be a massive change, and things are changing, and we are hopeful. So coming back to your question of regulatory part, there are several. One is biopesticide, the second one is biofertilizer, the third one is biostimulants, all those things. And still some of them are neither in biopesticide nor in biofertilizers, and still they are not regulated. Say for example, now the decomposed bacteria, for example, BASAI has developed the technology, BASAI technology, and all other companies including tea strains, all of us are having the proprietary strains, and we are developing and applying for the social cause of not burning the crops. But this comes neither under stimulant nor under nutrient. To my knowledge.
You could restrict the conversation to crop protection only.
No problem. No, crop protection, coming back to the crop protection, the data protection in biopesticides is a major concern right now. And Dr. Bakul was mentioning about roughly around 240-50 registrations, and number of molecules registered are less, very less. The reason behind the less registration is most of the molecules are developed by the public domain companies, institutions, and majority of the companies have taken the technology, and now the companies have grown to such an extent that they develop their own data. And now the policy in CABRC is we spend around 1 crore to 1.5 crore to develop a formulation, and the policy is Me-Too policy, where if one company got the registration, then again subsequent 400-500 companies will be granted. So why the company is going to spend that much of money and energy on research? So some kind of, it is against the principle of data protection, also IP protection. So some kind of, say for example, one company, if they are registering, at least 5 to 10 years of protection to that company is required. This is essential because we never invented pesticides. Multinationals invented and brought into the country. So this Me-Too registration is to overcome that problem of invention, because multinationals, they are big, and our companies are getting supported because of the Me-Too registration. Whereas in biological sector, we are in the driver's seat. We are capable of developing the technology and formulate and get it registered. So our interest and the company interest needs to be protected. And regarding the combination biopesticides, government has come forward with the combination biopesticides, and there are some uncertainties. All of us are developing, including IPL, CAN, ME, and T strains, to my knowledge. But we are all afraid to submit that to the CABRC. So we are also writing to them for some kind of data protection towards this. And another important factor is most of them are the bulky formulations where the technology was developed using the talcum powder formulation. And the talcum powder is from the mine, and the pH variations are very dynamic, and we are not able to regulate the mining pH powder. So instead of that, see, I am not finding much difference between, in fact, the dextrose or any other carrier would be a better option than the talcum powder, where it is having adverse remarks with the very recent powder episode, cancerous, all those things. So it would be better, without harming the environment, if it is better to convert that carrier into some other suitable carrier, and the entire industry can get benefit out of this.
Thank you, Doctor.
And the final one is the drone compatible sprays, and people are looking for the biopesticides. Liquid, there are no issues. Powder, especially the talcum powder, there is a problem. Very recently we approached the CABRC and asked them to permit increasing the active ingredient. Say for example, 2 into 10 to the power of 6 is the trichoderma formulation permissible. We have asked them to increase it to 2 into 10 to the power of 7 and reduce the concentration of the talcum powder, that volume of the talcum powder from 1 kg to 100 gram. So this 100 gram with higher active ingredient will certainly be compatible with the drone formulation. And the earlier secretary was very supportive, and new secretary has come. We have to convince, and through BASAI, with BASAI support and BIPA and some Russian association, we can come forward and approach.
Look, I believe most of the points that you have concerns you have highlighted are also of the chemical industry, like IPA issues across. We have got crop life representatives over here. I'm sure they'll be happy. And this is probably one place where the chemical industry and the biological industry can join hands into. There's no, one shouldn't be shy across the thing. So we are at our end, but not the end. So one question quickly to all of you. The seed bill is already out. The seed bill is already out again for consultation, right? And under the processing of seeds, I could not find any mention of seed treatment as being considered as a process for the seeds. Coming back now to pesticide management bill, which now will be under consultation soon by the ministry. What are each of your takes, starting from the young lady? We started from you only, right? So what do you feel that the pesticide management bill requires, because there was a 2020 bill already with everybody, requires to be done in terms of biologicals, to encourage biologicals at a huge?
So, sir, I would request that
Very quickly, just brief.
if I can answer it from the viewpoint of agrochemicals, because biologicals I would be not very sure to answer. So from agrochemical viewpoint, I think the policy maker should understand one thing, that what is the structure of your industry. So the structure of the industry is generic globally. We are not pharmaceuticals. We are agrochemicals, and our between 80 to 90% is generic. So whatever policy recommendations are in there, that should be based on the structure of the industry and the drivers of the industry. Also, who are the takers of your product. If the farmers are interested in the products which are generic, I think policy recommendations should be oriented from that line point of view.
Sure.
And similar applies to biologicals, if I am right. Okay.
You spoke truly like a consultant whom none of us understand. Okay. Rajesh.
From my side, just to be very, I would say specific, we should allow more innovations to come in biocontrol also, which is quite difficult now from the perspective of not just the cost or the process, from the timeline perspective. So there is huge opportunity in terms of various biocontrol solutions which are
So hence
globally,
IPR
yeah.
comes into the picture,
So
right?
I think the innovation and the timeline probably this thing we should work out.
Yeah,
It should
sure.
be improved.
See, as far as timeline is concerned, I'm with the government. They have already given us plenty of relaxations under the current Insecticides Act. Nobody should be complaining about those, I should say. Because if you see the chemical industry, they are wow. I mean, they've got a huge thing to come across if they want to bring in new molecules, right? But I do agree with Dr. John Peter that, I mean, Me Too like registrations in biologicals have also started and was contested upon also. There is a subcommittee, if you're aware of. So we asked them, because the requirements were for a memorandum of understanding to be or a royalty to be paid, and we asked for the deletion of a self-attested affidavit that the person can just say, I will be doing this of this company. So that was the removal. That still has to see the day of the light. Sushil, over to you. If you have any comments on the pesticide management bill, please.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask about pesticide bill.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So pesticide bill, I mean, should not be very stringent. I mean, it should have a level of flexibility and it should be farmer centric. Plus, I think they should also look at the inerts which the industry is using, which should be environment friendly and should be certified inerts that should be used, because your actives are 10% or 20% or 30% of the whole formulation. The rest 70% is the inerts which will go into the environment and will create a bigger impact. So that side should also be looked into while identifying those inerts.
Thank you,
and their
Sushil.
adjuvants are a major
Thank you,
part.
Sushil. I don't know how many of you are aware of the history of the Insecticides Act, but there was a compilation and a drive to also bring out common list of inert ingredients to be used with various actives. Unfortunately, it could not see the data, and I don't mind acknowledging the fact that none other than the PMFAI was the one who compiled such a document way back in early 1980s. So I still have the document with me. So that's something that requires to be done. Yeah, thank you very much. Dr. Joshi, your take.
Yeah, I'll not take much time. So the new pesticide management bill should help genuine biological solution providers help manage perceptions, because when it comes to biologicals, there are some negative perceptions existing because of the pseudobiomes. So the pesticide management bill should be industry friendly for the genuine solution providers and should be stringent for those who are in the name of biologicals selling something nonsense, right? So then possibly we would be able to create a real great biological solutions for the farming community. So that is my expectation. So they should not tighten the screw on the genuine players, but they should be strict who are selling something nonsense in the market. Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Peter, you have
I think it was drafted long and debated.
No, it was redrafted in 2020.
Yeah, that's true.
And there was the standing parliamentary committee.
I know.
Deliberation.
So I don't know how far my comments is going to.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Just briefly share.
My first one is there is a intentional and I'll take 1 minute.
You should have done this in the inaugural session, okay? So just
She is willing.
that we were just having two more speeches. Thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
there is a intentional crime and unintentional crime. So most of the companies, genuine companies, they are all, most of them are law bound, and they are all, sometimes unintentionally our batch may fail, but the same treatment should not be given.
So I feel if you read the latest seed bill, they've got minor offenses. The offenses have been categorized into 3 forms. So probably that is what should be
maybe in the pharma there is one.
No, they're just recently in the seed bill also is.
Okay.
And for those who have not provided any of their comments or may be interested in the seed bill, the last date for providing your comments is the 11th of this month.
Okay.
Yeah,
one more is
sure.
One more is this IPM. IPM definitely needs to be mentioned, and pesticide companies certainly at least some 15% of the product portfolio should be biological in nature, so that they can integrate this.
Well,
like
I don't believe that they'll be able to do it in a legislative form, but yeah, thank you for the suggestion. Prafull, over to you.
Thank you, sir. For example, as you said, the spurious inputs and other things. We have a product that helps farmers to identify spurious biological inputs within 3 to 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So the validation is a concern. ICR institutions say that this is not needed, or this is coming technology and kind of things. We get reply in return. However, we have validated it for soil microbial health, but other things we wanted to go ahead with the validation. So requesting support from this kind of resources. And kind
I
of
can say from BASAI, I'm sure BIPA will also be interested in supporting it.
Thank you so much.
Just one last quote I'll make. When biologicals we talk, we generally tend to talk only about microbials, which is not the case. We've also got botanicals out coming across. But the important point about microbials is that there's a very thin line, and this probably most of you who have heard me earlier also by saying that this is my pet sentence. There's a very thin line of demarcation which helps identify a microbial to express itself either as a crop protection product or a biofertilizer or a biostimulant. And this is one place where I believe that it is time that if not for all biologicals, minus the botanicals, but it is a fact expressed. Because if you see the Insecticides Act, you have got the similar microbial strain registered as a biofungicide and also as a bioinsecticide. And at that point in time, both registrations were different. Should not have been the case. Should not have been the case. So I believe, and concluding with this remark, that I believe that it is time that the industry looks towards introducing or coming up with a draft for microbials itself in the agriculture sector, irrespective of how they are going to express that thing, but have an ability to express in another format. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience, and thanks to all the panelists for a wonderful discussion and giving us the insight, especially you, ma'am, as a consultant. I mean, that was no. I can tell you, most of us tend to like to have consultancy reports on our report, but how many of us actually understand them? That's a huge question. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Vipin Saini, for such a great and insightful session. And I guess every single topic that you touch was very deep and insightful. And with that note, I request Mr. Vipin Saini to please kindly felicitate our panelists. Can we have a big round of applause for such a great insightful session, everyone? Thank you very much. We'll begin with Dr. Bakul Joshi. So please kindly come. Dr. A. Joan Peter, Dr. Prafull, Mr. Sushil Kumarji, Mr. Ravish Singh, Ms. Shantwana Dixit. And now I request Mr. Amit Kumar Jain to please kindly come on our stage and felicitate our moderator. So please kindly come and do the honor. Mr. Vipin Saini, sir. Now I request everyone to please kindly stand for a group photo once. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.